If you stood in the heart of Rome on the morning of July 18th, 64 AD, you would be standing in the undisputed capital of the human race. You would hear 20 different languages echoing off marble facades, smell the rich aroma of roasting meats mingled with the stench of open sewers, and feel the suffocating heat of a Mediterranean midsummer. Over 1 million people are packed into these stone streets, entirely unaware of one terrifying fact. In less than 24 hours, the greatest city on earth will become a furnace. This is Rome on the eve of its destruction. History remembers the Great Fire of Rome as a sudden, catastrophic turning point. We visualize the aftermath and the legend of an unhinged Emperor Nero playing his lyre while his empire melted away. But we rarely look at what was actually lost. To truly understand the tragedy, we have to step backward through the centuries. We must walk through the crowded alleys, enter the lavish palaces, and sit with the everyday Romans who went to sleep that night dreaming of tomorrow, never realizing that the world they knew was about to vanish forever. The sun rises over the eastern hills, casting a sharp, golden light across the Subura. This is Rome's most notorious neighborhood, a dense, chaotic valley wedged between the high-class hills. It is a labyrinth of narrow lanes, choked with mud. Vendors scream the prices of fresh figs and garum fish sauce, and street-side barbers scrape the faces of nervous customers amid the chaos. Looking upward, the sky is practically blocked out by towering wooden apartment buildings known as insulae. They are architectural death traps, poorly built by greedy landlords, stretching 6 or 7 stories into the air. In these cramped rooms, families are waking up, lighting small charcoal braziers to cook their morning bread. The air is already thick with a hazy layer of wood smoke. It is a normal, stiflingly hot summer morning, but the sheer density of dry wood, cheap mortar, and open flames makes the Subura a ticking time bomb. Down in the streets, senators in pristine white togas push past gladiators, Syrian merchants, and enslaved Germanic captives. There is no segregation here. The hyper-wealthy and the desperately poor are forced to rub shoulders in the suffocating heat. A wave of nervous energy pulses through the crowd. Rumors are spreading that Emperor Nero is away at his coastal palace in Antium, seeking relief from the oppressive urban heat. The city feels unguided, left to simmer in its own tension. Leaving the filth of the Subura behind, a short walk upward brings us to a completely different world. This is the Palatine Hill, the exclusive playground of Rome's ruling elite. The air up here is cooler, swept by a gentle breeze, and carries the scent of blossoming jasmine and imported perfumes. Here, the chaotic roar of the city fades into a dignified, calculated silence. The architecture is designed to blind you with awe. Colossal villas built from brilliant white Carrara marble stand behind guarded iron gates. Inside, wealthy patricians are relaxing in shaded courtyards, listening to the soothing splash of private fountains. Enslaved servants move like ghosts across intricate mosaic floors, carrying chilled wine from the northern provinces and platters of roasted peacock. From these high terraces, the Roman elites look down upon the sprawling metropolis below with a mix of pride and disgust. They see the chaotic patchwork of roofs, the crowded forums, and the massive spine of the Circus Maximus stretching across the valley. To them, Rome is eternal, an unbreakable monument to their own power. They have no idea that within 48 hours, these ancient family crests, priceless Greek statues, and ancestral libraries will be reduced to glowing ash. By midday, the heat becomes a physical weight, pressing down on the stones of the Roman Forum. This is the political and psychological beating heart of the empire. Massive law courts, triumph arches, and temples dedicated to the gods enclose a paved square filled with thousands of citizens debating politics, checking the latest edicts, and placing bets on tomorrow's chariot races. To escape the brutal afternoon sun, crowds flood into the shaded porticos and local tabernae, the Roman equivalent of fast food bars. Here, laborers, sailors, and off-duty legionnaires crowd around stone counters, drinking cheap, watered-down wine and eating bowls of salted lentils. The atmosphere is loud, sweaty, and heavy with gossip. They talk about the upcoming games, the rising price of grain, and the strange dry wind blowing in from the south, a hot, relentless breeze that has been drying out the city for weeks. Outside, the timber structures of the city are baked to a crisp. The massive wooden grandstands of the Circus Maximus, capable of holding over 150,000 spectators, sit silent and baking under the July sun. The shops built into the arcades of the stadium are packed with highly flammable goods: textiles, olive oil, wicker baskets, and dry grain. The stage is perfectly set, waiting only for a single stray spark. As the sun finally dips below the horizon, painting the Roman sky in deep shades of crimson and violet. By law, heavy transport wagons are banned from the streets during the day, meaning the night belongs to commerce and vice. The darkness is illuminated only by flickering oil lamps and torches carried by wealthy citizens protected by their private bodyguards. The taverns grow wilder, and the streets fill with the sounds of laughter, clinking dice, and drunken arguments. In the shadows of the alleyways, sex workers call out to passing sailors, while thieves slip through the darkness, looking for vulnerable targets. For the average Roman, the night is a time to forget the grueling labor of the day and indulge in the sensory pleasures of the world's greatest playground. But beneath the revelry, an eerie atmosphere takes hold. The air remains suffocatingly hot, and the relentless southern wind continues to howl through the narrow gaps between the insulae. People toss and turn in their sweltering apartment rooms, unable to sleep, complaining about the dry air. A shopkeeper finishes his business for the night, leaving a small, unattended oil lamp burning near a stack of dry cloth. It is now the early hours of July 19th. The city is finally asleep, blanketed in a fragile, uneasy silence. Then, in the dark, wooden underbelly of the Circus Maximus, the disaster begins. A single flame catches a piece of fabric. Within seconds, the dry wood of the shop stalls ignites. Within minutes, a wall of fire erupts from the base of the massive stadium. The night watchmen, known as the Vigils, rush to the scene with their leather buckets and axes, but they are instantly overwhelmed. The relentless summer wind catches the embers, lifting them high into the dark sky and showering them across the tightly packed wooden roofs of the surrounding neighborhoods. The fire doesn't just spread, it leaps, sprinting across the city with terrifying speed. People wake up to the smell of acrid smoke and the distant blood-curdling screams of their neighbors. Families flee their rooms in the high insulae, only to find the wooden staircases below them already engulfed in flames. Panic turns the streets into a chaotic stampede as hundreds of thousands of terrified citizens pour into the dark lanes, carrying whatever valuables they can grab, running blindly from a monster they cannot see. By the time the sun rose on July 19th, the Rome of the ages was gone, replaced by an apocalyptic ocean of fire that would burn for 6 straight days. 3 of the city's 14 districts were completely leveled. 7 more were left in smoking ruins. Thousands perished in the chaos, and hundreds of thousands were left homeless, wandering the ash-choked hills. The city would eventually rebuild, rising from the ashes in grander marble, under a paranoid emperor who would use the tragedy to reshape the empire in his own image. But the vibrant, chaotic, and raw Rome of July 18th was lost forever to time. If you want to keep traveling back in time to witness the moments that altered human history, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment below and let us know. Which ancient city should we reconstruct next?